Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the special meeting of the Board of Estimate and Apportionment for Thursday, June 13th, 2024. Ms. Shannon Davis, please call the roll.
Mayor Jones,
Present.
Comptroller Green,
Here.
President Green.
Present.
All are present.
Items presented for the first time, and this is the amended agenda that was distributed online. Item number 1, request from the Comptroller's Office for approval of contracts and leases for various city departments as listed on Exhibit A. Item number 2, request from the Budget Division's Director for approval of the response to the Aldermanic Budget and Public Employees Committee letter dated June 5th, 2024, regarding proposed amendments and other changes to Board Bill number 1 for fiscal year 2025. Item number 3, request from the Office of the Mayor, Director of Operations for approval of Board Bill number 31 as amended. This ordinance authorizes the 2024 St. Louis Works and 50/50 Sidewalk programs citywide appropriating $5,200,000 from the Street Improvement Fund. Item number 4, request from the Office of the Comptroller, Deputy Comptroller for approval of Board Bill number 50. This ordinance authorizes the establishment of an interim financing program to incur indebtedness not to exceed $650 million for improvements to the airport and refinancing of airport revenue refunding bonds. And item number 5, request from St. Louis Lambert International Airport, Director of Airports, for approval of Board Bill number 47. This ordinance authorizes a public works and improvement program at the airport for capital improvements estimated at $650,400,000. I'll entertain a motion. I'm sorry, before we entertain a motion, we will get a presentation from Paul Payne on item number 2 on the agenda for the fiscal year 2025 budget.
Thank you, Mayor, Madam President, Madam Comptroller. I'm going to share my screen and pull up a summary of the proposed changes. Hopefully everyone can see this now.
We can see them. Okay,
great. These are proposed changes. I've got them broken into 2 groups. The first half, the top half of the page is direct response to the request we received from the Aldermanic Budget Committee. And the second half are proposed changes that have come up since the submission of the budget, some of which are corrections and others which are maybe grant funds that we've been notified about that we would like to incorporate into Board Bill 1. So I'll go through these each individually, and behind the summary sheet are the detailed amendments themselves. So it's very detailed. You got detailed behind the summary. Item 1 and 2 have to do with the circuit attorney. The item 1 is specifically, both of these were requested by the Budget Committee. The only difference here is that rather than include the $235,966 increase in those number of positions for the paralegal and computer operator, supervisor, and such in the general revenue, this is being included in the special fund, sales tax fund, 1121 fund. That budget, as I had mentioned in the presentations, that it currently exceeds the revenue estimate, but it does have a significant balance that is accumulated over the last couple of years. So it does have a couple of years worth of those type of expenses, those kind of funds available for the next 2 fiscal years. Item number 3, the Communications Division. Again, this is a request from the Budget Committee to add $82,090 per performance salaries and overtime and computer supplies. That is approved there under Fund 1117 for the Communications Fund. Item number 4 is the Refuse Division request. Looking at that budget, the issues with the Refuse Division budget were more personnel schedule related than budget related. And so what this does is add the 9 HEO2s, which are the driving positions, and reduces the 10 HEO1s. It also adds a labor supervisor and 2 foremen as requested by the commissioner, and deletes 3 utility workers. You take all those changes together, as well as a minor reduction in the supply account, that actually ends up being no bottom line increase in the budget, but it does but it does rearrange the table of organization to reflect their requested positions. Item number 5 is a citywide accounts. It's sort of scraping funds from various accounts, including workers' comp, debt administrative, and assessor subsidy, to come up with the $82,090 that was to offset the increase in the communications fund. So collectively, by going through items 1 through 5, it addresses the requested increases by the budget committee. 6, 7, and 8 then negates the need for the reduction that were also approved. So that just restores the cuts that were proposed in the committee's recommendations. So 1 through 8 should address those issues. Starting with item number 9, in the personnel benefits budget, this is just a correction. There was a portion of the director's salary wasn't included in the budget originally, and that corrects for that. Item 10 were some funds. We've been notified the Affordable Housing Commission that they had some additional interest earnings that they wanted to appropriate. That's for $24,152. Again, that's a special budgeted fund there. And item 11, we've received word from the juvenile division that they are getting a higher allocation from the mental health board than they were originally allocated, and that was $77,050. I would add that amount to that special fund as well. 12A and 12B, these are requests from the Director of Health. There were a couple of positions that were filled that they wanted to make sure that they had the budget for, and they are swapping off a couple other positions. And again, the budget increase and decrease are neutral there. That's what 12A and 12B address. There were some supporting accounts in the lead remediation account and the Director of Health as well. That was for $10,000. That would be added to that special fund. And there was also word that they had received award of an overdose to action grant fund of $103,292. That would be added to the Fund 1504 Health Grants Fund. Now, one of the larger items on this, number 15, is from the airport. They've advised that the airlines in their negotiations of their agreements with the airlines, the airlines have representation in that negotiation for airline use agreements. The way that works is the airlines pay the airport funds to pay for those costs, and so and then the airport budgets the amount. That's $596,446. That's offset by the payments of additional revenue from the airlines. So that's a net zero impact overall. And the final 2 items, item 16, Ward Capital Fund 1208, we had the appropriation in the budget itself, but we didn't have yet the ward account detail. This includes the detail for each of the wards and what they're planning, what projects they've got planned at the start of the fiscal year. And then item 17 is adding a new section 12. This is, if you recall, in the current fiscal year, at least the state budget awarded the city $10 million for in funding for the PSAP. And this authorizes the acceptance and ability to spend those funds going forward. And so with all those changes, and you can see the down below, the increases and decreases in revenue, everything else balances out. If you have any questions, just let me know, and that's the extent of the proposed changes today.
Thank you, Paul. Any questions? Okay. Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as displayed today.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Ms. Shannon Davis, please call the roll.
Mayor Jones.
Aye.
Comptroller Green.
Aye.
President Green.
Aye.
All in favor.
Okay. Thank you, the board of SHE&A. We have officially passed the budget, and now it is in the hands of the Board of Aldermen. And we look forward to continued discussions. We want to thank everyone for their participation in the budget process this year. And we are pleased that we were able to, through the help of Paul Payne, to make sure that we were able to meet the requested changes from the public employees and budget committee meetings. All right, any other business to discuss? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 We are adjourned. Thank you very much and have a wonderful week.
You too.
You too.